for the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, and welcome to our new board members, our new board. I am so excited. I want to thank you for electing me as your president. I intend to show you that we can do some great things together. And Dr. Cash, do you have any board recognitions?
No.
No? Okay. You got to know Dr. Cash is on a mission tonight. His vacation starts after this meeting, so I think everything is going to be really tight.
I do have an update.
Okay. He has a superintendent's update.
Good evening, colleagues. It is with my great pleasure and honor to share some good news with you. In its July-August edition, District Administration Magazine, it's a national magazine representing all of the school districts in America. District Administration Magazine honors 34 school districts as districts of distinction in their July-August edition. And this is for this year. And we are one of those 34. Okay, there we go. Wake up. Here we go. Districts of Distinction is a national annual recognition program created by District Administration Magazine to honor school districts that are leading the way with new ideas that work. This year, the Buffalo Public Schools is being honored among 34 school systems from 19 states for quantifiable results in the replicability of our Strong Community School initiative. Grown from 7 original elementary and high schools to 21 at present, community schools were chosen by targeting the neighborhoods that contained a combination of the highest degree of poverty and the greatest level of gang activity and crime. Our community schools are the epicenter of these communities they serve to boost students and families in realizing their greatest potential. With 68 fully engaged strategic partners from higher education institutions, banks, healthcare organizations, faith-based groups, and businesses, please give kudos to our community schools teams throughout the district and you, board, share in the honor as we are a district of distinction. It's just a significant honor for the Buffalo Public Schools. Thank you. Alan McCalla has put a press release out, and that will go out this evening. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Dr. Cash, for the great work that you're doing in our district, and thanks to the staff as well. It is definitely a team effort, and we are very proud that Buffalo is on the move. At this time, we are going to have our comments from our speakers. At this time, the board welcomes speakers who have signed up to speak at tonight's meeting. Please be reminded that all speakers' remarks must be limited to 3 minutes or less. We ask that the speakers be mindful that there is a business meeting open to the public and televised locally. Attendees and viewers include persons from throughout Western New York, including children. This board asks that speakers conduct themselves professionally and that their comments remain civil and courteous, bearing in mind that they will be heard by people of all ages. This is an opportunity for Buffalo's residents to address the Board of Education about issues that serve the public interest and district mission. And the board asks that speakers demonstrate appropriate decorum. Our first speaker, Dr. Cash, you got that list for me. Our first speaker tonight is Evelina Zimmerman. Is she in the building? Thank you. Please. Following her would be Selena Irene, parent. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is, as you know, Zevalina Zimmerman Johnson. I'm the mother of Rachel Anita Johnson, and today I would like to give a recognition to a teacher, Ms. Desiree Beckenridge Barnes, and her assistant, Ms. Cullins. As imperfect people, many do not consider the feelings of others. We have the inborn tendency of thinking mainly of ourselves. The greatest man who ever lived stated in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, "All things, therefore, that you want men to do to you, you also must do to them." This is known as the golden rule. This scripture is totally fitting of these two teachers, Ms. Barnes and Ms. Cullins, who has displayed unity of the mind and tender compassion to my daughter. These special need educators has given 100% of themselves to their students, and as a parent, it is refreshing to see and feel that they are not just in it for the money. They actually love what they do. When your child wants to go to school on the weekend, this tells me that these special need educators are phenomenal teachers. It takes a village to raise a child. Ms. Barnes and Ms. Cullins have been a source of support for the past 4 years, having an open line of communication. They would keep me informed of Rachel's good days and bad days. This is important because special needs children must have a consistent routine in order to succeed in whatever endeavors they are pursuing. I've had the privilege of attending several field trips and have seen how Ms. Barnes and Ms. Cullen display love, not just to my daughter, but to all of the children under their care. One particular trip I was impressed with is when I saw one student caring for the needs of another student at the Galleria Mall. The love the children displayed towards each other brought joy to my heart. It is truly remarkable how they interact with each other as one big happy family. I am very grateful to Ms. Barnes and Ms. Cullins, and I truly appreciate everything they have done for my daughter Rachel. When you have a special needs child, it is imperative that educators and parents are on the same page in helping our special needs children achieve their goals. Ms. Barnes and Ms. Cullins are truly an asset to the special needs educational system, and our special needs children need more teachers who truly cares for them. Ms. Barnes and Ms. Cullins, please continue to be phenomenal teachers. Rachel and I will miss you.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. Selena Irene, parent.
Just start? Okay, thank you. Nyawe Skano, Selena Nijaso. Hello, my name is Selena Irene. Greetings to all. I hope you are all well. I am an enrolled member of the Seneca Nation of Indians. I am of the Wolf Clan. Thank you for having this open forum to speak. I am a parent with 2 children in the Buffalo Public School District. Let me begin by stating we are the only group of people that have federally marked money for the purpose of, and I quote, recognizing that American Indians have unique educational and culturally related academic needs and distinct language and cultural needs. This legislation is a result of treaties established. The mission of boarding schools and that were operated under a separate set guidelines than our counterparts. Sorry, I'm nervous. The Title VI grant is no longer focused on helping the Native students and all students at Native American Magnet School number 19. Native American Magnet School 19 and the Native American Native American Resource Program have a symbolic relationship. The school was to be demolished, and when the Native American community settled on housing the program in one place, it decided to keep it at Native American Magnet School 19. Building the program back up needs to be highlighted here. We have lost focus on how our Title VI grant money should be spent because the grant is now run externally at a district level rather than at the school-based level. Some decisions made may not always be focused on helping our Native children succeed in school as well as in life. The current changes have created barriers that make both the management and communication amongst the Native American Resource Program staff very difficult. Inventory and supplies were readily available when Native American Magnet School 19 served as the hub for the program and the Title VI grant. The district lacks transparency when it comes to communication with the Native American Parent-Student Committee and the hiring process. There have been closed-doors discussions which created tension between the Native American Parent-Student Committee and the district. Title VI grant money was illegally moved by the Grants Department in 2018-2019 school year without the Native American Parent-Student Committee's approval. The budget we agreed to was changed without our knowledge. Our grant is unique that the parent committee approves the budget. The hiring of the part-time coordinator happened without someone from the Native American Parent-Student Committee or the Native American Resource Program staff. The parent committee was assured that Native representation by the district personnel would be provided for the hiring process, but this was misleading and false. We have tried to have our concerns heard and addressed. The education bargain states, recognizing the critical role parents play in supporting their children's and schools, the district will work closely with parents to deliver on our pledge of putting children and families first to assure high academic achievement for all.
Thank you, Mrs. Irene.
Can I say one more thing or no?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Sorry, I had to cut mine short. In closing, we want to make this collaboration work for our Native families and children. We are passionate about our concerns because our language and our culture is in a crisis.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Cash?
Yes, I'd like to thank Ms. Zimmerman for that eloquent tribute to two outstanding teachers, for sure, at a program that we think is a best-in-class program run by Tom Vitale and his staff. So thank you so much, Ms. Zimmerman. And as I understand it, our staff has been working closely with you and with Rachel and get a great summer placement for her. So thank you again for your remarks. Ms. Selena Irene, thank you for your comments and remarks. We certainly concur that we want to work closely with you and effectively with you. I have Ms. Ann Botticelli and Dr. Nadia Nashir as leads for this work. If you would give us a copy of your talking points tonight, I'll direct staff to respond and then share with you, continue a dialogue with another meeting to get to a consensus around these issues, and then have the board be apprised of those responses and the meeting and so forth. I understand some of the issues that you're talking about. Staff has briefed me on this, and so there are some disagreements, obviously, about some of these things, but nonetheless, we need to work together on this. The reparation and the reconciliation of truth of what has happened in America with our indigenous people is a justice issue. And so we share the need to educate accurately and educate well around this issue. And we want student voices to grow so that we get the truth and then do something about it, reconcile it. So that's certainly one of the two great justice issues in America. The other, in my humble opinion, is the savage inequalities that have resulted as a result of American slavery. So the issue of slavery in this country and the issue of how we have treated indigenous people are the two greatest justice issues of our time, and they've never been reconciled. So I and our staff believe that the curriculum is one powerful place, and resources associated with that, to begin to do that. And we've got to do it from pre-K through higher education and on into society. So thank you for your passion on this issue and your activism around the issue. I'm sure we will get it right for the children. Thank you.
May I have a motion to accept the minutes from our previous meetings, which consist of June the 17th, a special board meeting, June the 18th, a special board meeting, June the 19th, a board meeting, and July the 1st, our reorganization meeting. So moved by Mr. Petrucci, and second by Paulette Wood. Okay. All right, Dr. Cash would like to have a moment to speak.
Yes, colleagues, I know some of you have heard sporadically about this news, but I really, as we've come together for the first time as a new board, I want to make sure that we give proper recognition and celebration and salute to Dr. Eric Rosser, who is leaving us to go to Poughkeepsie, New York, the new superintendent for Poughkeepsie, New York. I got to stand for that. Congratulations, Eric. You have been superb, a gentleman, and a scholar for 4 years, and you've served us with distinction, and Poughkeepsie is now the benefactor. So I can't say enough about it. I tell you every day, I see you as a son, although you are older than I thought you were. But you have been fabulous, and you are ready to go do great work. So thank you so much. You're only an hour away from your colleague, David Mauricio. He will be there for you. You will be there for him. And you're doing the work. You're carrying forward the work. And you have done the work here in just a phenomenal job. And so we're all grateful and proud of you. Thank you.
I like to echo that. I knew Eric before coming on the board, and he has always been a gentleman and a very kind-hearted person. And since working with him over the past 4 years, I have grown to love him almost as if a brother. Okay, so he's that type of person. He grows on you. Okay, but Eric, you know, you and David leaving us like this, you know, I got some mixed feelings, because what's happening here is that we're having interviews with people who are saying that there's a need for additional schools in the city of Buffalo. Although we're not seeing where our parents are leaving us to go to these schools, but what's happening is that the leadership in this district is expanding throughout the state as well as the country, I'm sure. And we are doing things in Buffalo that can be mimicked and replicated in other places. So say whatever you want about Buffalo, New York, and our school system. One thing for sure, we are innovators and we are making it happen. So good luck to you and your wife. You know I'm only a phone call away, and I don't know if I'm ever going to come and visit you in Poughkeepsie, because I don't like the way that sounds. Does any other board member have anything to say to Eric before he... Today, this is the time you can speak if you'd like.
I just want to say thank you so much for the initiatives that you've reached out and set up seminars on how to do business with Buffalo Public Schools. The community thanks you for that effort, and the judges thank you for you working with us. Thank you so much for being accessible to the community and always answering questions. I'm truly going to miss you. I don't know if I should say, don't go, but congratulations.
Eric, you will be sorely missed. I'll keep it brief, but you will be. But good luck in your future endeavor.
I already congratulated you in the lunchroom. But you know how I feel about you. I'm so proud. Congratulations.
When I used to scream at the board as opposed to being on it now, Eric and David were the folks who actually took the time in the district to talk to me and either calm me down or put me in my place about things that were happening in the district. So I appreciate you for being real and honest and always answering questions. And Poughkeepsie, wherever that may be, is a real lucky place to go. Westchester, yeah, even that, whatever. It ain't Buffalo, but come back. Get your legs, get your superintendent legs, and come back.
Eric, I too congratulate you, and I know you'll do Poughkeepsie well. I think it's the sentiment of, and I said this to Eric before the meeting, of the district under Dr. Cash's leadership, that he's losing all of his folk he trained to get a district in preparation for what Sharon is talking about, the new education bargain. So it says a lot. It's almost like a ministry. When I think about my own pastor and some of the pastors under him, they go out, they train under him, they go out, and they run their own ministry. So good luck to you, and Godspeed.
I call you Eric now. No, Eric, I like to say that you've been a blessing to this community and to me personally. And I was looking forward to working with you. I shared that with you earlier, but I know that God has a new mission for you over on the east side of New York, and that you'll be a blessing to them and those kids there. And from all the children here that you helped, I just want to say thank you for them, and continue with your work. And I'm always a call away.
I just wanted to say thank you for everything. As a former parent who worked with you through Parent Congress, through CPAC, I appreciated your outreach, your clarity, and your willingness to always to respond to us. And as I said before, our loss is their gain.
Similar to Ann, I just want to add that as a parent leader, it was just really a great experience working with you. And I think just one thing that sticks out in my mind is how instrumental you were in getting parent leaders together to come up with a revised, more inclusive, fair parent involvement policy. I really think without you, that probably wouldn't have happened. So very grateful for that. And I think just it says a lot that there was always open communication between you and I about issues, even when maybe we weren't on the same page and we disagreed. We maintained that open communication, and there wasn't ever any judgment or anything that impacted our relationship. So thank you, Eric, for everything.
Well, Eric, if I was in church, I would sing the song, Give Me My Flowers. But we're not, so we're going to leave that alone. But we love you, Eric, and good luck to you and your wife. Would you come to the mic, please? Thank you. It's your turn.
Okay. So I want to say thank you very much for the opportunity to serve on behalf of the students here in the Buffalo Public Schools, as well as the parents. Without a dedicated board, without a dedicated superintendent, very supportive board and superintendent, I would not be going to the place I'm going to. I will share with you that all that I've learned over the past 4 years, working very closely with the board, understanding the board's intent and commitment to the community, really helped me a great deal with understanding this work, along with what Dr. Cash has shared with us as our obligation to meet the needs of our children. So what I have learned here most certainly will transfer and come with me to Poughkeepsie, so that one day you'll be reading about Poughkeepsie in the way that you're reading about the Buffalo Public Schools. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to state for the record, we have a head start. Thanks to you. Next, may I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Are there any items that need to be acknowledged at this point? Well, I'm going to come back to that. Oh, you know what? Okay. Dr. Cash pointed out that maybe we should talk about the committee reports. Since, does anyone have anything to report at this point, because we just reorganized? What I'd like to say about the committee reports is that at our board retreat next week, and we are having a board retreat next Wednesday, we will talk about the committees and we will put leadership in place. I'm asking each board member to bring with them their ideas, ideally from what you ran on, some of the issues that were brought to your attention while you were out in the field running, and ideas that you have in your mind to make this a better board. I also would like to see subcommittees created under our current committees, and if there's a need to do an additional one, we can, but just come with an open mind. Ideally, we will be able to come up with a goal or a method to talk to Dr. Cash when he returns from his vacation about ideas that the board wants to put in place. As per his contract, we are required to review that with him before we move forward on that. So our next meeting will more than likely be with Dr. Cash about those topics, okay? Any questions or concerns about that, board members? Okay, good, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, can we get a motion to accept the consent agenda? So moved. Okay, moved by Mr. Petrucci and second by Mr. Scott.
Dr. Brown, are you here? There's an item, I don't know the exact number, where we said that if by this time tonight we hadn't found a placement for the young lady, we would pull that item. I would recommend it to the board that we pull that item. And okay, 9C, line number 2, please pull that item.
Okay.
Thank you.
The only person that's on the exception list, or I have a comment, and it's just for the exempt. I want to make sure that future packages include what we talked about, Dr. Brown. In the future, there's a confidential list that should have been in this package that was not included, and that's the only concern I have, is that we make sure moving forward that that's in place. Okay, thank you. Well, that's good news. Nate? Nate? Okay. We're ready to...
For what? For adjourn?
No, Dr. Cash. No, we're not adjourning yet. Your vacation has not started. We have a couple more things to do.
They haven't even voted yet, Doug.
I'm sorry.
On the consent agenda with 9C, line 2, being pulled from the consent agenda, how do you vote, Dr. Evans-Brown? Okay. Usually the board would refer to that as no exceptions, meaning that you're voting yes on everything. So
No exception.
okay. Mr. Hurd?
No exception.
Ms. J?
No exceptions.
Ms. McCosey?
No exception.
Mr. Petrucci?
No exceptions.
Dr. Rivera?
No exceptions.
Mr. Scott?
No exceptions.
Ms. Woods?
No exceptions.
And President Belton Cottman?
No exceptions.
Consent agenda passes.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
You're getting closer, okay. Is there anything that anyone would like to share with the public at this time? Normally, I know we have people, you talk about some of the things you're doing or whatever. If not, we're going to move on, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
There were two things I wanted to mention. That at the Waterfront School, they had a presentation on Title II 3 and 4. And it was a very extensive, detailed, and exciting presentation. So I was glad to learn about what they're proposing and for using that money, and I got a great understanding of it. There was a good turnout there too. And the other thing was that we went to the opening of the Boys and Girls Club and Say Yes summer program for 1,300 children, and that is very exciting. They're taking 40 buses of children to Beaver Island. So those were just two exciting things that happened this week. Okay.
Ms. McCoochie?
I just want to reiterate, Native American School number 19, I was hoping they would stick around. I've been attending those meetings and bringing as much clarity to these conversations as I can, and I've passed emails back and forth. And I just want to state that when we move forward, brand new day, that I would like a little bit more, I guess, clarity around what's been asked, because I've been very specific around what they're asking and any confusion, and it seems as though that confusion is still there. And I'm not, pointing fingers, but I really, have been meeting with these folks, and they have been asking pretty much the same questions around hiring practices, what that money, that Title VI money entails. And now I'm going to advocate even stronger because I saw them here, they spoke on it, and I will continue to advocate. So, I just hope that we can get some answers for them soon. Thank you.
Any other board members?
Well, I'd like to share a couple of positive things that's going on in the community. I met with Chris Thorpe. He's the president at Darien Lake Park, and Mark Arena is assistant president, and they donated 120 tickets to the Breaking Barrier programs so they can attend this Friday to go to Darien Lake. So we are working with our kids in the community and our organizations to try to give them a good summer and positive things and reinforcements. Also, we have been working with Kenneth Cox. He's assistant vice president of director for the Buffalo Promise Neighborhoods, and he's started a new program which is going to incorporate Westminster School and School 80, working with the 7th and 8th grade youth boys that's there in that community. And they also had a cookout yesterday over at School 80, part of that program with Kenya Peoples for the PAS Cafe, which stands for the Parents Achievement Zone. And they had a nice cookout yesterday, and just getting the community all together and working together, believing in one another. And then and August 6th, everybody's invited to come out to the My Brother's Keeper Breaking Barriers. There's going to be a breakfast at City Hall, and we're going to give out it's going to be a ceremony for our graduating youth that's been in the program for the past year and the past 2 years. Thank you.
Just a few things from me. Today we hosted a central registration parent conference. Dr. Rosser and Dr. Tandra Williams facilitated. It was very informative in many ways, and I'll steal something from the superintendent's daily brief about it. I think in the room there was a shared value in growing greater access, equity, opportunity, and quality across the system, across central registration for sure. We talked about an electronic application process that would be much more efficient, a need for clear and transparent policies, accessible and regular ongoing communication, central reg website page upgrade with top-notch marketing, possibly a social media page that would frequently give updates on, for example, acceptance letters that are going out or when they might be going out, a press event in the fall to make parents more aware of the application process, of deadlines, what they need to do to get their child enrolled in Buffalo Public Schools, clear, welcoming, and positive acceptance letters. One of the parents spoke specifically about their letter where they were accepted to their first choice, and there was just no excitement in that letter. And we talked a lot about central registration being that first interaction, that first experience with Buffalo Public Schools, and how we need to be sure that it's positive. So just changing the wording and the presentation of those letters, I think, would go a long way. We also talked about maybe a 5-minute instructional video that could be posted on how you register your child for in Buffalo Public Schools. I'm seeing some great videos on certain schools that are going out. I'm thinking something similar to that could be done and then published widely. We have many talented people who can make this better in our system, and I'm confident that we'll get there. There's a task force that will convene in August to talk about these issues further. On another issue, I am following up on traffic safety around our schools. I know the city is moving forward with lower enforceable speed limits and cameras at some of our schools, but I'm still not seeing painted crosswalks at our schools. At my son's school, at School 81, on Delaware Ave, they put brand new painted crosswalks around the school. There's nothing. This school here, when I came in the building, no painted crosswalks, no signage. So I'll be following up with the city. Common Council Member Farrelletto has been following up as well with the city on this, and Dr. Cressis has been working hard on this issue, and we're planning a meeting together in the near future to hopefully get this addressed before the school year starts. That's it for me.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a new home of Houghton College, on the east side. They're located in the former King Charter School, located on Genesee Street. I attended the opening. It was beautiful. It was on a Sunday. Karen Saxon, who is a piano person, but she's also a teacher at this school, actually. And Sejora Cook, who is a soprano opera person. It was excellent. Mr. Cook, who is a minister over at Macedonia Baptist Church, he's the lead minister, is the new director of Houghton College on the east side of Buffalo. So they're reaching out to the community, particularly Buffalo Public School students, for registration, and my understanding that they're going to focus in on some of the seniors in our high schools. It's a 2-year program.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Brown. We have been working with Ms. Julian Cook. We have identified 25 students to go into his program, and hopefully it is a wraparound program that provides support for students, means money. So there could be money for transportation, for food. In addition to that, any support that a child would need. Similar to the grant that we received from the Gates Foundation the other day, the $2.9 million we say yes to education, to provide wraparound services to make sure that children are successful. We want to see his program succeed. We really do. Ideally, I would like to see if we can conversate with that college to see if they would be interested in working with our children inside of our high schools to provide a similar middle early college model. So we want to really grow that relationship. Thank you for going. I was under the weather that day and I couldn't go. So in moving forward, if that's it, we need to go into executive session for a brief meeting. May I have a motion to go into executive session for the following purposes? 1, to discuss current litigations with BCSA. 2, to discuss current litigations with PCTEA. 3, to discuss the potential discipline of specific district employees. And 4, the purpose of receiving legal advice. May I have we have a move by Hope and second by Paulette Woods. Thank you. To our audience, we're going into executive session. We don't know what time that will be, but we will go into it. We will come out at that point. We will adjourn our meeting, and all of our business will have been taken care of. I appreciate you coming out. For those who want to stay, you are welcome to. However, we will be going into seclusion. Is that David Russ? David, I didn't see you there. We're glad you came. David Russ is in the house from Say Yes to Education. Thank you. The board went into executive session and no action was taken. May I have a motion to authorize the district to pursue an appeal to the Court of Appeals in a matter between PECTA and the Board of Education in case number 18-02028. Paulette and Larry Scott. May I have a motion to end the meeting? Jennifer, may I have a second? Okay. All in favor of the motion? Aye. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Any noes? Motion carried. Thank you. Out of here. Now, can we have a motion to second? Okay, thank you. We adjourned.